So I put together this technical SEO audit checklist that I just wanted to share. It's super simple. If you're not like, a professional SEO by day, then you can jump in here and use this checklist to make sure that you have the core fundamentals in place. So I'll kind of walk you through the setup here. The first and most important thing is you need to make sure your website can be indexed. And to do that, there's a tool called Screaming Frog that I love to use. You can just click here, open it up, download it. There's a free version where you can scan your site. There's also this site bulb option too. And you can check to make sure that your pages are actually able to be indexed by Google based on, follow and no follow. It'll tell you if it's 200, which means it's okay, or if it's 500 or 400, which means like error page for different reasons, or 300, which is like redirects, right? So it'll list out all of the different codes to tell you what pages are being indexed, which ones are being redirected, etc. Also, having a sitemap available for search engines is really helpful for them to be able to actually index things quickly. So if you're adding new content on a regular basis, especially, this can be quite helpful. And then your internal linking and site structure. So if you don't have any internal linking, Google doesn't, and people can't find what they're looking for, people probably aren't going to stay on your site for very long. It's going to cause a lot of user issues that Google's going to pick up on, and it's never going to let your site rank at the top. Because Google wants to see a site that's providing a lot of value to its users. So that means people coming to a website, visiting, a bunch of different links, going off to different places, coming back, etc. Engaging with your site. So the old cliche is people should be able to find what they're looking for on your website within 3 clicks. So making the essential pages easy and accessible is key for technical SEO. Now, site speed is another big thing. I've made other videos going into more depth about this and how to check it and stuff. But if your site is not loading within 3 seconds, then more than 50% of mobile users are just going to leave before your site even loads. People are really impatient these days. So be sure to check out your Google Page Speed Insights. You can even run a scan on GTmetrix and just make sure that your site is not taking like 10 seconds to load, because that's going to be the kiss of death. A lot of that has to do with images and videos oftentimes, so make sure you're not trying to load tons of huge images and videos on your web pages, and consider using a CDN too. It'll speed things up a bit. And then mobile is not really optional anymore. It's pretty much necessary. Google's using a mobile first index now. So if you don't have a responsive design for your website, then you're really not going to get picked up by Google, because a majority of Google's users now are on mobile devices. So it's not going to send somebody to a website that looks like crap. Google is a little smarter than that by now. And then you also want to make sure that you have a secure domain. So that's through an SSL certificate. If this is not working, you'll notice when you go to your site, it'll say, "Caution, the site is not secure." And you're like, oh my gosh, freak out. So if that's happening, you're not going to rank, obviously. And then as we get into some of these down here, we're getting into some finer details of things. These first 5, if you don't have these in place, you're pretty much dead in the water. The rest of these, we're getting into more like fine-tuning, right? So on-page SEO elements, things like title tags, meta descriptions, H1 and H2 and H3 tags are really important. And they need to have a specific structure. And then duplicate content. If there's any duplicate content, that's also going to be a major red flag to Google. And it's not going to know what to do with the page, because it doesn't know which version of the page to rank, as is explained here. So that you can add, tags to fix this if need be. And then also redirecting error pages. So we kind of touched on this, but you can go check Search Console and it'll give you 400 error, it'll tell you what pages on your site are having issues. And then you can go through and fix those using 301 redirects or whatever you need to do to fix those. And make sure if Google sees a whole bunch of 400 error pages on your site, it's not going to want to send people to your site because people are going to be going over to pages that don't exist, which is not great for user experience. So again, Google's really focused on user experience, and more so as we move forward. That's at least what they've been saying. So you want to make sure people are having a great experience on your website in general. That's what a lot of this has to do with. URL structure. So you don't want to have like super long URLs that are impossible for people to copy and paste and use and share and stuff, right? So the shorter and more concise your URLs are, the better. And then this stuff, we're getting into some kind of like more technical stuff. I won't go into all the details on this. Of course, this list could probably go on forever, but as long as you have these like top 10 items in place, then you've kind of got your core fundamentals. So this checklist will at least get you to the point where you know that you're in a place where your core elements are working properly. You don't have any major issues, right? And then it's a matter of all sorts of different things, continuously working on your SEO, creating content, etc., etc. So I hope you found this helpful. I'll leave a link to this this full checklist where you can just come in here and utilize it on a regular basis or copy it or whatever you want to do. But if you do have any questions about this checklist or anything to do with technical SEO, don't hesitate to reach out. You can just drop your questions in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to get back to them there. If you're like most new business owners, you're probably struggling to get your online presence established, let alone get it to the point where it's bringing you a consistent flow of customers, right? So that's why I created this free course where I actually walk you step by step through the whole process of setting up your online presence. This is the same process we've been using for our clients for over a decade in one of my agencies. And essentially, I'm going to show you how to set up an SEO-friendly business name right from the get-go, how to develop your website really quickly and easily, how to set up your Google Maps listing, start getting some Google reviews, everything you need in order to have a substantial online presence where people can actually start finding you and purchasing your products or services. The best part is I'm going to show you how to do it in under a couple of hours, and all for less than $50. If you're interested, I'll leave a link below where you can get signed up today. Make sure to check this course out for free right now because I'm probably going to start charging for this at some point in the future. All right, I'll see you on the other side.